Welcome to The Explainer. Listen, today we're tackling something really serious. A warning for anyone even thinking about getting into crypto. The whole market is changing, and honestly, it's getting risky. We're going to break down exactly what's happening and what it means for you. And trust me, this is based on some seriously eye-opening analysis. All right, let's just get right into it. There's been this huge shift in the crypto world, and it's not a small change. It's something so fundamental that, frankly, if you're a new investor, it should make you stop and really think about what you're doing. You know, this quote just nails it. It perfectly captures this super dangerous trend that's been building. And it's not just a theory. A recent event, a really big one, showed us just how terrifyingly high the stakes have gotten. Get this, $19 billion on a single day back in May of 2022. After the market kind of panicked, that's how much money was just, poof, liquidated, gone from traders' accounts. And just let that sink in for a second. We're talking about an entire lifetime's worth of money for thousands of people gone. In 24 hours? The biggest liquidation event in crypto history. And the craziest part, it happened during a market dip of only about 14%. That's not even a record-breaking crash. So how? How on earth did so many people lose literally everything so incredibly fast? Okay, so to really get how that massive wipeout was even possible, we gotta pull back the curtain. We need to look at this incredibly powerful and honestly super dangerous tool that pretty much defines the crypto market today. So what is leverage? Well, in the simplest terms, it's like this. You're borrowing money from an exchange so you can invest way more than you actually have. You're taking on debt to make your bet bigger. And yeah, that can sound exciting, right? But it is a terrifyingly sharp, double-edged sword. Let's walk through how this actually plays out, because this is absolutely key. Imagine you've got $100. With 10x leverage, you can borrow $900 from the exchange. Now you're investing $1,000, even though you only put in $100. So here's the dream, right? The market goes up just 10%. That's a $100 profit. You just doubled your original money. Amazing. But here's the reality, the nightmare scenario. The market goes down 10%, you lose $100, and your entire original investment, it's gone, wiped out, zero. This is exactly what creates that addictive casino-like feeling. Tiny little market moves can either make you a hero or send you to zero, and it rewards taking insane risks. And look, this whole leverage thing, it isn't just attracting a few people who like to gamble. No way. It has completely re-engineered the entire crypto landscape. It's shifted the whole point of it all. Just take a look back at 2016. Back then, the market was mostly what we call spot trading. That means people were buying the actual coin, the actual asset. They were investing in the technology because they believed in its future. Simple as that. Now flash forward to today, it's a complete 180. The market is absolutely dominated by what's called derivatives. These are those speculative, debt-fueled bets we've been talking about. It's become so much less about believing in the tech and so much more about just making the bet. You know, this whole situation feels eerily similar to the 2008 financial crisis. Back then, you had all these complex financial products built on top of a real asset, housing, and that's what caused the whole thing to collapse. And that's the crucial point here. The underlying asset, like Bitcoin, isn't really the problem. The real danger is this massive, teetering, unstable tower of debt that's been built all around it. And if you want to see just how big this has gotten, look at this. This chart shows what's called open interest. That's basically the total value of all these leveraged bets. In 2016, it was less than $1 billion. Today, it's over $57 billion. That is an absolutely insane explosion of risk in under a decade. So, knowing all this, knowing that the market has basically become a minefield of these leveraged bets, how on earth is a beginner supposed to navigate this? How can you get involved safely and actually build real long-term wealth? Well, this isn't just some theory I'm throwing at you. This is a lesson that so many people have learned the hard way. I read this story about a big-time investor. Early on, he was trading with leverage. He turned $50 million into $500 million. Insane, right? But then it crashed right back down to $50 million. And he said the whole time was just constant crippling anxiety. Later on, you know what he did? He just bought the assets and held them. And his profits were much bigger. And a whole lot less stressful, I bet. And really, this is what it boils down to. You've got two completely different mindsets, two different paths you can take. On one side, you've got the gambler, They're using high leverage, chasing those get-rich-quick stories, staring at charts all day, and getting all their info from social media hype. Then on the other side, you've got the investor. They're focused on actually buying the asset, they care about the fundamentals, they buy and hold for the long term, and, this is key, they do their own research. Okay, this brings us to what might be the single most important takeaway from all of this. It's about your foundation. And it's a really simple but profound distinction to make. Think about what gambling actually is. It's risking money on an outcome that's mostly chance, right? With very little real analysis or education behind it. And when you think about it that way, it becomes crystal clear. Any asset, it could be a stock, a house, a crypto coin, anything can become a gambling chip if your whole approach is just based on hype and guesswork instead of actual knowledge. And that right there is the core message. This is what this is all about. The asset itself isn't the problem. The problem is the gambling mindset. Your success or failure in crypto, it's not going to be about whether you picked the next hot coin. It's going to be about the mental foundation you build for yourself. So what can you actually do? Here's a safer path, especially for beginners. First, only start with what's called cold money. That's money you can genuinely 100% afford to lose without it hurting you. Second, focus on spot buying, just buying the coin itself until you are an absolute expert. Forget leverage for now. Third, and this is huge, prioritize your own education and analysis. Drown out the social media noise. And finally, number 4, this is the hardest part for everyone, be patient. It can literally take years to unlearn that get-rich-quick instinct that we're all wired with. That's how you do it. So I'm going to leave you with this one question to really think about. Is your strategy true investing, or is it just a bet in the digital casino? Because being brutally honest with yourself about that answer, that is the first and most critical step you can take.